welcome to G-Man Gaming and Reviews. Today's video is going to be about the top 10 ways to boost settlement happiness in Fallout 4. What we're going to cover today is providing adequate food, ensuring clean water, building enough beds, defending your settlement, decorating with furniture, providing entertainment, assigning jobs, keeping settlers healthy, maintain high defense to population ratio, and avoiding overpopulation. Alright, so the first one was, which is pretty basic, they're going to get more advanced as you go along, is providing adequate food. So when you first start a settlement, when you go into this menu up here up top, you'll see that you've got the amount of people, food, water, power, defense, beds, and your happiness rating, right? So if any of those are in red, for instance beds, or in this case power, that means you don't have enough of that resource for the settlement, right? So the first one that we're going to cover that's really important is providing adequate food. So I've already got a farm set up. When you first come to Sanctuary, you're going to have a little bit of a farm set up, but you'll need to set up more stuff. Now, I'm not really going to go into the specifics about what you should grow in this video. I recommend mut fruit, corn, and tato, simply put because that is used to create adhesive, but you don't have to do this. It's just that adhesive is very useful early on because you use it for weapon mods, and you're going to be modding weapons quite a bit. And we've also got some razor grain here, in order to use it for the cage for Brahmin. So the way that you set up a farm is you hold down Alt. I've already done that. And then what you do is you go to resources, you go to food, and then you can just plant a crop as so. Just press enter the build, plant it, plant it, plant it. Now, after you plant a crop, okay, this one's already done. I'll demonstrate with something else. Let's go. Okay. You'll see here that this is in red, right? And these ones are in green. Green means that it has somebody who's maintaining it. Red means it doesn't. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to go find a settler who's not assigned to anything. And no, you can't assign the cat. So we're going to go to... Okay, so I'm going to ring this bell so that all the settlers know to come. Right, so I think the way that you can get this bell is it in... Yeah, it's in miscellaneous resources. So if you ring it, it'll gather the nearby settlers. Now, Mama Murphy is... Okay, so she's assigned to something. They're assigned to something. Here they all come. So, hopefully... Wait, I saw one. Oh, Curie. And Codsworth. Preston Garvey's unassigned. We'll do it with Preston Garvey for now. So we're going to go hit on... If I hover over him, you'll see he says unassigned in red. I'm going to hit enter. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go find this crop. And I'm going to hit... If I hover over it, you'll see it says enter at the bottom, assign. Hit enter. And now you'll see that the resources are now assigned. Now, an individual settler can maintain up to 6 crops, so something to be aware of. So that's pretty much, now you got to make sure that your food is higher than your settler amount. Now, one big advantage of having higher food than required, especially in Sanctuary, is that when you start using supply lines, excess food in a settlement can be used to maintain other settlements, right? So that's something that's very important. Cool. So that's how you provide adequate food. Now, providing clean water. Now, when you're first starting out, when it comes to clean water, there's numerous different resources, but the most basic one is these water pumps here. Now, they require 1 gear, 4 steel, and 1 concrete. So these are what you're going to be using. You can just place them anywhere in the dirt and they'll generate 3 water. So these are going to be your basic water gatherers. These are going to be your basic water gatherers. But later on, in settlements where there's water, particularly in Sanctuary as well, what we're going to do is anywhere that there's water, you can actually place these water purifiers. I'm going to place one. Okay. That's very annoying. Okay. So what we're going to need to do is go to power, go to generators. We'll build one of these and one of these. And then what you're going to do is you're just going to hit space to attach power to it. Okay, I don't have aluminium. Right, let's store this in the workshop. Let's place it here. Okay, I can't. Let's try turning it. Okay, but you get the general idea. This is how you... we're going to place it here. Okay, that took... Cool, now we have a whole bunch of water. Okay, now we have 160 water. Okay, a bit of technical issues there, but it was resolved. So it's good that you saw that, because you actually saw me like how I fixed it. These generators unfortunately have a certain amount of range that they can go before they can't go any further. So it was really good that we set up. Let's see if we can move it. Yeah, it still has power. Great. Alright. There's a bit of technical issues there, so we got some extra. That's how you place water purifiers, essentially. Now, the next one that we were going to cover was building enough beds. Now, I generally, in Sanctuary, like to build a building where I put a whole bunch of beds in it. The reason that I find is that there's not too many homes, and I've got 21 settlers, and I don't think I can fit a lot of beds in these particular rooms. So I tend to prefer to have one massive building where we've got a whole bunch of beds, because you can essentially build vertically up with almost no limit. So I just tend to place a whole bunch of beds in one of these buildings, and as you build up you can place more beds. So the way that you find beds is if you just go to furniture and you go to beds, you can basically just place a bed. So just place a bed. You can rotate it with R and X, just in case you didn't know. Very useful when you're placing beds. Cool, and that's how you place a bed. This isn't exactly in line. I'll have to fix that later, but that's fine. So yeah, so this is pretty much what I do about beds. I'll have a whole building full of beds, essentially, which is very, very handy. Yeah, so you just need to make sure you got enough beds. You can see in the menu up top how many beds you have, and that's it. Now, the next one we were going to talk about was defense. I already covered that in another video, but I'm not going to go into the specifics. I'll just go into like the basics. So you've basically got two main types of defense, which is guard posts, which you assign settlers to, just like you did with the farming, and then turrets, right? Turrets are what you're probably going to be using from the mid-game onwards, because there's really no point in using guard posts later on. Now, the basic machine gun turret gives you 5 defense. Now, the good thing about these turrets is that they're really set and forget. You don't need to do anything with them unless they are destroyed, and then you just repair them. Now, each different type of turret will create a certain amount of defense based on the shield icon that you can see where it says producers. Really, you just want your defense to be significantly higher than your water and your food. Right? As long as it's significantly higher, you won't really have to worry about raiders that much. So that's something that's very important So the next thing is decorating with furniture. Now, this isn't something that I've done a lot, but it is very useful to do, especially in Sanctuary, because in Sanctuary you've got a lot of these houses here, right? And what I would probably do is I would turn these houses into like a hangout for all the villagers, right? So you can get rid of all the stuff that's broken, and then go into your decorations, or power. What do we got? You can go into like your decorations. You know, you place furniture. You can place TVs. So that's a great way of creating a space that that settlers want to live in, and it actually boosts happiness. Just be aware, though. Like I said, I like to use the houses to do this, because these are just basically wasted space that you're not using for anything. So you might as well spruce them up and give the villagers some place to go, some place to sit. The next thing is, like covered on the previous one, which is providing entertainment. So TVs. Where is it? Where are the radios? Should be. Yeah, so you'll actually see here that there's this one like here, where it says it produces happiness. So actually, they will actually tell you whether they produce happiness or not. So you got your TVs here. So yes, so they actually produce happiness as well. So that's like, you might as well do it because there's no reason not to. These houses are basically just wasted space otherwise, so you might as well furnish them so that the settlers have got a great place to go. Now the next one is assigning jobs. Settlers don't like to be idle. You might as well have your settlers doing something anyway, from farming to running shops, which we will cover in a second. But yes, you want to make sure that all your settlers are assigned to something. Like I said, if you're not sure, you can ring the bell and they'll all come, and then you can check all of them individually to see if they're assigned to something. Now, the next thing is keeping settlers happy. So there's a couple of ways to do this. So there's a couple of like shops that you can get that will actually keep settlers happy. The first is the barber chair, which you can actually place here. It produces happiness. You need a settler assigned to it, but that's one way of increasing happiness. The other thing is stores, actually. So if we go to stores, the general trading stand produces happiness, and so does all the armor doesn't, weapons doesn't, food and drink does. So it's useful to have one of these. Plus, they also generate passive income. So you will need a rank 2 in local leader in order to start creating these. So you'll need to have your charisma up to 6, which is handy to have in game. Also, the clinic as well. You'll need to have 2 ranks in local leader and 1 in medic in order to create this. But this also increases happiness and generates passive income. And so does clothing, which also just requires you to have rank 2 in local leader, and to get the bigger ones, rank 2 in cap collector. Cap collector only requires 1 charisma, so if you've got the 6 charisma to get local leader, you'll be able to get cap collector without any problems. So obviously we already covered maintaining a high defense to population ratio. So you need to make sure that your defense is higher than your population. So you'll notice here that I've got 160 water. It might be a good idea to increase my defense even further. Because if your defense is lower than your resources, raiders will generally come. I haven't had raiders come here for ages since I had so many heavy machine gun turrets put in, but it's handy to know. Then the last tip is basically to avoid overpopulation. So you just got to be aware that with Sanctuary it's fine, because Sanctuary is massive, so I could potentially have like 20 more villages and it'd still be fine. But after a while, in some of their smaller areas, if you start running out of space, you might not want to have any more settlers. Now, the radio recruitment beacon is what actually builds, where is it? I think it's in... Oh, I can't remember where the radio recruitment beacon comes from, but you have a quest to build it. It's in miscellaneous. Yeah, it's in power miscellaneous, right? So when this is on, I'll get out of the... No, we're not going to store it. So when this is on, this will... when it's green and it requires power, it'll actually let settlers know to come. I think there is a max limit on this because I've had it on. I've had 21 settlers for absolutely ages. But yeah, But yeah, I think there is a limit, but just be aware that certain settlements, you might not want to have too many people because they don't have the massive amounts of space that this one does. Now, the other thing that I didn't cover, like some extra tips, is animals, right? So, animals, well, we've got a lot of Brahmin here. I might start transitioning some Brahmin to one of my other settlements. So, there's another couple of ways to increase happiness, and that is with cages. So, specifically, where is it? The cat cage. It actually will generate when you. Okay, so you got to repair these. Yes. Oh, I don't have any canned dog food. That's annoying. I don't have any. Okay. So what cages do is this is a dog cage. That's a cat cage. You can find this in the cages section. Now, what happens is when you set these, right? When you set these, right, and you attach power to them, the doors will close over a period of time. And once the door, they'll trap a dog or a cat or Brahmin. Now, dogs and cats actually increase the happiness of a settlement, right? The advantage of dogs as well is that dogs will actually, see how it says house cat produces happiness, right? And so do dogs. Now, the dog cage will sometimes catch hostile dogs. Just be aware of that. The dogs that look like regular dogs are the actual good ones. The ones that look like they're mutated are the actual bad ones. So just be aware that that when you open this dog cage, a hostile dog might come out. Cats are always passive. They're always on your side, and Brahmin always fine. So that's another way to increase your happiness, like a bonus tip. Alright, this was G-Man Gaming and Reviews. I'd love to hear your comments about what you do to increase settlement happiness and what I missed, because I must have missed something. So this was G-Man Gaming and Reviews. Please like and subscribe. I look forward to seeing you in the next video, and signing off.